Hey, it's Tommy Thayer from KISS, and you are watching Tales of a KISS Geek with Glenn Walker. How about that?
Hey KISS Army, and welcome to Tales of a KISS Geek. So in this one, I'm talking to Ramon Yslas from Paul Stanley Soul Station. Let's do it! Welcome to Tales of a KISS Geek. I'm joined by Ramon Yslas, if I pronounced your name correctly.
You were perfect. It's Yslas. You nailed it.
Yslas, okay. So you have worked with Chicago, Jennifer Lopez, and you've also worked with Prince. How did it come about that you worked with Paul Stanley?
Well, it's funny with Paul. Sorry, I lost you. Okay, with Paul. Okay, here's what happened. It's very, very serendipity type approach. Okay, so it was a Saturday. Okay, so it's around 10 a.m. and my daughter's around maybe 9 years old, 9 years old. And she was like, let's do something. And it happened to be record store day that day. I don't know if you know what that is. Okay, so record store day here in the US, it's actually, it should be coming up because it's in April.
Okay.
They recommend that you go to mom and pop record stores and buy vinyl,
Okay.
and just like visit your local record store, that's it. So we went to a couple in the area. So, and once again, she's like 9 years old. So she, vinyl to her doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So I started showing her albums, right? And I showed her Kiss Alive 2.
Okay.
And I said, honey, this is one of the very first albums I bought. And I showed her the picture. You're familiar with the album. It has the four faces on the front, right? So she asked me, well, what are their names? And I said, it's Gene Simmons and Peter Criss and Ace Frehley and Paul Stanley. And I said, Paul Stanley's the one with the star. They call him the Star Child. She goes, oh, okay. She goes, wow, what kind of music? Rock and roll, blah, blah, blah. So we put the album back and I bought a couple of albums and we left. And not even an hour later, my phone rings, right? And I'm looking at it and it doesn't list the phone number. It just says caller blocked or blocked ID, right?
Okay.
And I never answer those calls. I never answer them because I don't know if it's a solicitor or somebody, right? So that day I answered it. And I said, hi, can I speak to Ray Yslas? And I said, yeah, this is him. He goes, hi, I got your name. You were referred to me by Sean Hurley, the bass player. And I said, oh yeah, Sean's a dear friend of mine. And he goes, yeah, this is Paul Stanley. And I went, okay, yeah. And I'm thinking, yeah, the Paul Stanley wouldn't be calling,
Yeah, which Paul Stanley are you?
And I thought, okay, maybe it's another Paul Stanley, or it's what. And so as he kept talking, I recognized his voice, and I was like, holy shit, this is Paul Stanley. Paul fucking Stanley, right? So I just went, wait, okay, so what are you doing? And he goes, well, I'm putting together this really cool project. Now, mind you, he said, yes, it's just a fun project because he wanted to play at a fundraiser for his kid's school, right? So he's like, I don't want to do Kiss stuff. I want to do stuff that I grew up listening to, which was Motown. And he goes, and I'm putting together a band so we can rehearse and maybe, and have fun with it. He goes, are you interested? And I said, hell yeah. And he goes, all right, great. And then he goes, all right, I have to go because we're about to go on stage right now. And I was like, what, where are you? And he goes, oh, I'm in South America and Argentina. And he goes, and we're literally like, I'm side stage. And I said, are you all like dressed up? And he goes, oh yeah, full outfit is on right now. And I said, laughing, I said, all right, have a great show. And he goes, I'll text you when I get back into LA. And he goes, I'm going to text you right now so you have my phone number. Send me your email address so I can start sending you music. And I was like, all right, cool. So I got off the phone. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yes. Really, right?
And is your immediate mindset you're never going to hear from him again?
Say what?
Is your immediate mindset you're never going to hear from him again?
No. I was like, he's so cool. He's like, just like, he's one of us like that, like you could talk to him and like we talked really quick about just music and how long I've been playing, and and I told him I'd been a big fan since I was a kid. And so he when he called me when he got back into town, he said, we're playing at the school,
Okay.
at his kids' school. Like they built a big old stage, and it was Paul Stanley. I don't think it was called the Soul Station yet. It was just Paul Stanley's like Motown or something like that. And it was the Foo Fighters. It was us and the Foo Fighters, because Dave's kid goes to that same school or went to that.
That's right. Yeah.
And then after the gig, after we played, literally like Paul saying goodnight to everybody, he turns around and he tells us, the band, he goes, "This is way too good to not continue." And he goes, "We have to move forward with this project." And you can just see his mind spinning, and he goes, "Okay." And he goes, "We will do this again." And he goes, "We're definitely going to do this again." So that evolved, and we started doing gigs. We went to Cayman Islands and did a private. We played in Hollywood at the Roxy. We did a show in Miami. We did some video, a lot of video recording. We did like 3 or 4 local shows. And during the process, we started recording the album, the album you have right there.
Yeah.
The album took about 2 to 3 years to make, because whenever Kiss was on tour, Paul's doing his thing with Kiss, and I was with Chicago, and the other band members are doing their thing. We got guys who played on The Voice, guys who played with John Mayer, who like Barbra Streisand, like a variety of musicians coming from everywhere, right?
Okay.
So whenever Paul was off there, like literally, like Paul would get home on a Friday after touring with Kiss, and he's on the phone Saturday trying to put together a rehearsal for us.
That's great.
Paul's nonstop, man. He's nonstop. So yeah, and 5 years later, we did that, released that album. That's
brilliant. And are you happy with the overall sound of the album?
Oh my God, it's I listen to it every day. Whether because I don't know if you can see my turntable right there.
Yeah.
See it? There's the album right there. Right.
Now what is that? Is that the black copy or the purple?
The black.
Okay.
I didn't get the purple. Did you get the purple?
I have both. Yeah, that's my black.
I need to get the purple one, man. I need to get the purple one. I know me and Eric Singer were talking. We did an interview 2 days ago with Modern Drummer, right? Oh. For the magazine, well, a podcast like this. And Eric was telling me, he goes, "Man, you got to get the purple one." I said, when I ordered it, I didn't even think about ordering the purple one. So yeah, I got to get that one.
I was going to order the black one and just excessively play the black one and never open the purple one as a Kiss geek here, And the second the purple one came, I thought, no, I have to open both of them.
Yeah, that's cool. Didn't you find a misprint?
Yeah, I did.
Because I saw that video you posted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, both of my vinyls actually have the same misprint.
And I immediately looked on mine, and mine is proper. So.
Oh, okay. So it's gonna make me buy the album 4 times now. So you guys went into the studio, and obviously, like, there's some covers there, but Paul brought like 5 originals to you guys. So what was the case? Did he bring the originals to you guys, and you yourself worked out your own percussive parts, or had that already been pre-written?
Well, the songs were written already, and it was just the originals. They were written already, and we just added. I added whatever I thought it needed, like whether it's congas and shaker tambourine or timpani, whatever. Because I was thinking, all right, no, I can do this. I can play, definitely tambourine, very Motown. Yeah. What's cool about those originals are artists, like major artists, are asking Paul, "Hey, who recorded that song? Where did that song come from?" And Paul said, "I wrote that." Yeah. And Paul wrote to the album. He didn't write like just a song. He wrote a song that has a flavor of Philly soul, Philly, the Motown and all that. So, and those songs are incredible, man.
Well, I'm one of the guinea pigs over here. Like the whole album was new to me. I'm 24 years old. So each song was actually, it was all new to me. I had never heard any of it before.
And you see, and that's exactly what Paul wanted to do, was to introduce all these beautiful classic songs to like listeners like yourself and the younger generation, so
Yeah.
you guys know where, because I mean that's what Paul grew up listening to, that's what I grew up listening to,
Okay.
and that's what makes you become a better musician, because you understand the different styles of music, and then you play them the way they're supposed to be played, or you adapt something new, you come out with something new for it, like in my playing, I know there's a certain pattern that works really nice with the Motown stuff, and it's familiar, very familiar in like in Marvin Gaye and some of these songs. It's like the like boom boom buck, boom 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 buck, boom 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 buck, boom 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 buck.
Yeah.
That always sounds really sweet.
So if I can get pretty geeky here, for the musicians out there, what kind of equipment did you use recording the album?
You mean studio, like microphones and that, or you mean me?
I mean yourself.
Myself. Okay. So I endorse LP Latin percussion, right? So I wanted to make sure the congas were warm sounding, because they make different types of wood drums, and they make fiberglass drums. Now the fiberglass drums, the congas and the bongos, are louder and they're great for stage, but the wooden drums are a little quieter and warm. And I wanted to go for that 60s sound, because back then they didn't have fiberglass drums. They only had wooden drums, and they were cowhide or buffalo skin. Nowadays you can put, like the drum sets have the plastic heads.
Yeah.
Well, they make plastic heads for congas now, for the hand drums. Okay. Once again, to make it brighter and louder. So I went to my old set of congas, which is a New Zealand type wood, which is a little quieter. It's lighter and it's quieter.
Yeah.
And I had the calf skin on it, and I just kind of detuned a little bit to give it that old presence, right? So that was the drums. And then the tambourines I used were 1970-ish tambourines. So you gotta go, you gotta go that sound for this style of music. Eric was telling me he did pretty much the same thing, like he would use the wooden snare.
Was he on a Ludwig kit?
I'm sorry?
I said, was he on a Ludwig kit?
No, I think he endorses
He's with Pearl now, I know, with Kiss.
Pearl. He was using a Pro kit. Yeah, he was using a Pro kit. Yeah. So and everybody went their route, the proper route. Like Sean Hurley was using a P bass, that 70s P bass. The guitar player, he would go back and forth in different guitars, and there was Rhodes being used, piano sounds, all that. So we all knew this is Motown and soul music, so we had to go and do it the right way. You can't play that on yesterday's instrument from Guitar Center or whatever, that's sitting there and you buy it and you play it. You have to have the right gear, and you have to feel it. You have to know what you're playing too. Oh, this album was so much fun to record, and the day the album came in the mail, like with you, when you open it, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, wow, we put a lot of work into this, and how beautiful is this now,
I'm sure it was bittersweet though, in the sense that you have your product, oh my God, I'm a Kiss fan, I'm on Paul's album, but by the same token, I know as a recording musician myself, I love and hate when the album is there, because you go, oh no, it's finished. I can't go back to it's the next thing now.
Yeah. And I know what you mean. The same thing. You put a lot of work into it, and then when you're holding it, it's bittersweet. But then you think, all right, now, the accolades that happen with that album. Because right now, I'm hearing the album's number 8 in Japan. It's number 10 in Germany. It's climbing the charts. So that's the beauty part of it too. You're seeing the energy and the love we put in actually rising. And then also, like for me, being that I'm with Chicago right now as well, I get to enjoy the energy and love we put with the Soul Station. And with Chicago right now, we're recording a new album,
Oh, brilliant. Tell me about that.
which will probably come out in November, December, or January. But that's the plan right now. We're everybody's writing and submitting the songs to the producer. Like yesterday, the producer called me up and he's like, I really like this song. What do you think? Should we do this to it? And I was like, yeah, that's cool, you know. So there's that excitement happening. And then meanwhile, I just released a song with a great guitar player, a friend of mine named Jerry Johnson, in the instrumental side. The song is called Oceano. If it's Ocean, you know, like ocean, and then Oceano. And if you look for it in Spotify or YouTube or anything, it's all up in Apple Play. It's all there.
Yeah, I will. I'll take
it.
it.
And it's cool because with Jerry, with my buddy Jerry's guitar player from the city of Chicago, we were just talking. We're like, hey, we should do a project together because we're both constantly, every time we talk or hang out, it's goofiness, silly, funny, constantly laughing. And I said, let's put this energy into music and release a project and see what happens, you know? Yeah. So he was like, let's do it. So we already have one song out and it's doing pretty good right now. And so the plan is to release one maybe once a month, you know, or meanwhile we're recording. We already have 3 songs recorded. The next 2 haven't been mixed yet. They just haven't been mixed. So.
And have you guys been doing that in your own homes, or have you been going to studio? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, right now, especially during COVID, it's difficult to get into it. I mean, it can happen. I was in about a month ago or less. I was in the Village recording studio in Santa Monica, and it's like that's a historic recording studio. I was there with an artist named Hildy Plitman. Hildy Plitman. Now she's a opera choral singer.
Yeah.
And it's a world project. It's like with world rhythms, and she's singing her beautiful, you know, voice on top of all this. And I don't know when that comes out, but we were all in the studio, man, like in the room together. Everybody had COVID tests, and you know, and things are starting to happen here. Like more and more studio work is happening again.
That's brilliant. It's good to hear that you're busy.
How is it out there? Where do you live at?
I'm in Dublin, Ireland. So
in Ireland, okay.
Yeah, so it's nighttime right now. Like it's black outside. There's my Kiss dolls over there. I'm such a geek that this is the thing that I always get laughed at. I have a champagne bottle from Peter Chris's wedding in the 70s.
Wedding?
Yeah, to Lydia Chris.
Oh wow. Oh, let me show you something. Look at Paul just gave me this the other day. Look at this.
Okay.
So.
Oh, you got one.
Yeah, I got 2 of them, the red and the white. I haven't opened it yet, obviously, but
that's great.
But we were hanging out talking about just, you know, what's going on. I was at his house and he goes, "Oh man, here, take these." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I'm walking to the car, like trying not to drop them, you know, because I was carrying the album because I needed him to sign the album for a fundraiser I was a part of, and one of the silent auction things was a signed Soul Station album by Paul Stanley. So
was that for Eric Singer's niece?
No, it's something different. It was a thing I was involved in. I don't know. Do you have me in Facebook?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so if you've seen, maybe you have or haven't, there's a thing I do every other Friday called Funk Fridays.
Okay.
With bass player from Minneapolis. His name is Paul Peterson. He's played like with Prince, Morris Day and the Time, and he's done a lot of stuff. So when COVID started, he literally week 1 of COVID, he started doing Funk Friday, and everybody's doing it for free. You know, we videotape ourselves and we record ourselves.
Yeah.
He sends us a song. You know, you check it out. You should. You know, we were on, like last week. I did Funk Friday 53. So that's how many we've done so far. 53, you know, weeks, right?
That's great.
And it's awesome. And it's like musicians from around the world that he calls and emails, sends the track, like a very rough demo, and then everybody plays their part, sends it back. He has a guy who mixes it and video does the whole thing. And and I alternate with Lenny Castro, the percussionist. So he's doing this week, I do next week, and then he does that week. So.
That's brilliant.
And it keeps us busy, keeps us musically going.
Yeah, no, something has to at this time. So I have to hit you with the question. Obviously you're keeping busy with music and the new Soul Station album is out. Is there any talk of a second release from Paul Stanley Soul Station?
Not yet, but I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it because he's not that type of person to just say, okay, we did one album, all right, see you guys. He loves to work. He loves to play. His mind, like I said, his mind is always moving forward. So I wouldn't doubt if we worked on another album like in about a year. I would say first this has to do its thing. This album has to present itself, and who knows, man? Who knows? I'm ready for that, and I'm sure everybody in the band is ready for it.
I would love an album full of originals.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be a bad idea, and I wouldn't doubt if that's what happens with Paul.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take Soul Station to Dublin.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and then I'm ready to do shows. I'm hoping that we get out, like we get in your side of the world, like to Europe or back to Japan. Because I'm sure we'll probably end up back in Japan because we went to Japan in 2018 and we did 12 shows over there.
Yeah.
And they were all sold out immediately. Wow. So there's that'll probably happen. The only thing is that jet lag is serious, man, going to Japan.
I'm sure, yeah.
I couldn't sleep, dude. I had the worst sleep over there. It was horrible. Yeah.
But it's worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I remember I finally got acclimated to the time change on the last day. And then the next day we came home. And I was all messed up when I got home.
And then it's bring the kids to school and
oh yeah. Oh no, believe me, getting home and I'm the Uber driver, I'm the cafeteria lady, I am everything. I'm dinner. I love to cook. I like right now, I before we got on, I made sure the meat is on the stove. I can smell it right now. It's like, just getting everything ready for dinner.
I hope one day this Zoom is so good that I can smell it too.
Right? that would be absolutely so bad though if that ever happens. So then nobody would ever leave their homes, man.
yeah, I know. They only shoot from the waist up as well.
I know, right?
So a question for you, I don't know if you've ever thought about it. Obviously you're still doing really well with your music career. What do you think to this date has been your highlight in your music career?
I'm sorry, my highlight in what?
What has been your highlight of your music career so far?
I think I'm right in it right now from the Soul Station to Chicago. Those two, I mean, come on, it's Paul Stanley and Chicago. These are two of the biggest artists of the world that come from, okay, now here's a great analogy. I've always, ever since I was a kid, beginning to be a musician, right? I've always wanted to be part of a rock band, right? Okay, so the way I started in the Latin market, but with every artist I worked with, I was always the side musician, whether it was with Christina Aguilera, Jennifer Lopez, Chris Isaac, David Sanborn, Marcus Miller, any of those artists, they were the artists and we were the musicians supporting the artist, which is fine. I mean, that's making a living. There's nothing wrong with that. But I always wanted to be part of a band. And then in 2018, well, I mean, the first thing that happened was Paul calling me, right? Yeah. And Paul is very, very particular and very insistent that we do not sub out. It's like he'd rather not take a gig if it's not the unit, if it's not the Soul Station.
That's brilliant.
Because you know why? Because that's how he grew up.
Yeah, it's a band.
Kiss was a band, the four of them. They never changed. I mean, later, eventually, Ace Frehley, then Peter Criss were replaced, right? But he grew up as a band, and that's what the Soul Station. Like he was telling me, there was a couple of TV show or one TV show here that wanted to do the interview with Paul and then have the performance of one of the songs, right? But they only wanted him, and they wanted him to perform with a house band.
Okay.
Right, but he said no. That's not the Soul Station is the band. It's me and the Soul Station or nothing. And then they said no, we can't do that. So he bailed. He bailed on doing that. So now, okay, so I learned with Paul that yeah, I feel and we are part of a band. Now, fast forward 2 years later, which is 2018, I get called to play with Chicago, right? Yeah. So, and I came in as a sub. I was subbing for somebody. And within a week, the leader of the band calls my room, right? Or the manager, I'm sorry, the manager. He called my room and he said, hey, I know you're supposed to go home next week. He goes, but can you do the whole run, which was an additional 3 weeks?
Okay.
And I said, of course. And he goes, you like doing it? And I said, I love it. Come on, this is history, rock and roll, man. And he goes, well, everybody likes you and you fit in well. Do you want to stay in the band? You want to do the whole year? And I said, hell yeah. And then he said, okay, let me tell Robert and Jimmy and Lee that you're in. And then the next day, Jimmy tells me, hey man, you're in Chicago, just so you know. You're part of this band now.
Yeah.
And he goes, you were. And I was like, I swear, I wanted to cry, dude. I wanted to cry because Chicago for me was the reason why I became a musician. CTA, Chicago's first album.
Yeah.
When I was listening to that album as a kid, I didn't know what I was listening to. All I knew is that's what I want to do. I was like, I don't know what that is, but that has to happen that has to be part of my life from now on. And now I'm in the band, and I told Robert Lamb, I said, my very first concert as a kid, I was 9 years old, and I begged my brother to take me. I was blocking the door of the house because he did. First of all, I was so pissed off that he didn't think of me to buy me a ticket. And second of all, I was like, you're not going anywhere unless I go with you. Now, my brother and his girlfriend were like 19 years old, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm 9. And so I was like, I was pissed. I was like, I can't believe you didn't even think of me. I was hurt. I was pissed. So he said, all right, come on, we'll sell the 2 tickets and buy 3 over there at the venue. So it was at the Greek Theater in LA, a very popular venue here. And it was to see Chicago because that was my favorite band. And that was my very first concert as a kid. So, and it was when I told Robert, and then we in 2019, we played the Greek. So I'm standing on stage, right before they announced us, and I'm like looking at the audience. I was like, wow, full circle, man. Major circle right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, and once again, I'm in a band. I'm in 2 bands. I'm in 2 incredible bands, and the cool thing is, like, Paul will ask me, hey, give me Chicago's schedule so I can make sure he like books around that way I can do the dates. I mean, hopefully it happens like that, that because I know there'll be some overlapping, but I mean, how cool would it be if the Soul Station and Chicago toured together?
That has to happen. Bring it here.
That'd be a hot ticket, right? Yeah. I would have a long night, though. It would be a long night for me.
I'm sure you would do it, though.
Yeah, my arms would be tired.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for any young aspiring musicians?
Yes.
Don't do it.
One important thing is just honestly don't give up. Like, even though, I mean, practice, network, get to know as many people as possible in all different styles of music. network, introduce yourself, social media, post videos of yourself, pictures with your instrument, everything. I mean, obviously become the best you can in that. If you're a guitar player, learn acoustic electric guitar, know world music, not just rock music. Try to get everything under your belt. But most important thing, don't walk away from it. Because if you're like 20 years old, 19 years old, and you're a great drummer in the area or bass player in Dublin or anywhere in the world, stick with it, man. But if you're not making money, it's okay. Then make money on the side, little part-time job, whatever.
Yeah.
And it will eventually pay off. I guarantee you it will definitely pay off. It always does. But you have to be true to yourself, and you have to do it properly. Do it, like, study it. Consider yourself, this person is a business.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a building where I go to, I don't own a building, but that building is me. That building is what I have to advertise. That's what I'm saying. You have to stick with it. You have to stick with with your program, and obviously then, and stay healthy. You gotta eat right. You have to make sure you're doing everything in order for you to do the job right.
That's great advice.
Yeah, and lots of coffee.
And lots of coffee. I saw your mugs. That's awesome. So, Kabir, I want to say thanks very much for coming on. And can you give us the links and just plug away of where fans can reach you?
Sure. Okay, so my Facebook, and maybe you can type it on the screen, is it's Ramon Yslas, and RamonYslas. My Instagram is @Ray Drums. That's RAY Drums.
Okay.
My website is Yslas, my last name, yslas.com. And with those three, you'll know what's going on in my life. I also have cool product, if you can see. Look at the Yslas mug. So, and there's shirts, hats, everything with this whole logo on it, which is kind of cool. Very summery.
That looks great, yeah.
You know what I've been up to lately?
What?
And my daughter is the one who turned me on to this. I've been painting.
Oh, awesome. Me too, actually.
And also, Paul paints. Paul was actually, I was talking to him about it, and he said, dude, just get canvases, get paint, and just go at it. He goes, just do what comes to your mind. Like, let me show you one of them. This is my latest one. So I don't know if you can see it.
Wow.
This is my latest one. And honestly, I never know what I'm going to paint.
That's brilliant.
I never know what I'm going to paint, and let me show you one. Let me show you one more. This one I call New York jazz, like late night,
That's awesome.
So, like I said, I've been at it. I just got a shipment of new supplies that I have to order. I mean, I have to open and start painting, But it's cool. I mean, it's relaxing. It's relaxing, and I love baseball. I love watching baseball, right? So I'll put the baseball game in my computer, and then I'll set up the easel and just paint, and like whatever comes to mind. I dig. What's behind you? Is that a scarf or a tablecloth? The skulls.
It is. I had to kind of punk up the dad chair that I'm in. So.
It's funny because it looks like a tablecloth. Is it?
No, it's a scarf. It's exactly what you said. It's my Paul Stanley-esque scarf.
Dude, I have a very, very similar one.
I actually saw Ace's Ace was on the cover of Origins 2 or something like that, and I thought, okay, I'm going to eBay, black and white skull scarf, and I got one. So. And
you found it right on, because I found two of those, but it was so long that I cut it and made two different scarves.
Oh wow!
And well, I had it cut professionally, right? And I gave one to Jimmy, our trombone player, because he loved it. So he wears it all the time with Chicago,
That's
so
right.
he wears it all the time. Oh, also ChicagoTheBand.com. That's another great link. ChicagoTheBand.com, where you can see everything going on with Chicago right now. New music is up there too. So.
Well, thank you very much, Ramon, for coming on the show, and I hope to have you back.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hopefully, you can come back on sometime soon.
I'm here. Just let me know. Yeah.
Awesome. Have a great day, Ramon. See you
Thank
later.
you, brother. Thank you. Have a good night, man. Sleep well.
Guys, I want to say thank you very much for watching Tales of a Kiss Geek. I hope to see you in the next one, and you have a great day.
Everybody, it's Bruce Kulick here, and you're watching Tales of a Kiss Geek.